Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG. This one's located on the west spawn of Sand River Encounter, and it's under the command of targy of 3RTR. Okay, 105mm light field howitzer, capable of 410 alpha, 53mm pen with standard HE, and with the heat rounds, it can do 350 alpha and 104mm of pen, which means it goes through heavy tanks like a dose of salts and gives them a rather bad day. The best thing about this Arty is, of course, the fire rate, which is incredibly fast, normally 8.92 seconds per shot, but he can get a round out every 7.01 seconds, and that's very fast when it's that amount of damage. He gets a hit on the Striv 74 for 394. That's a penetrating shot just below the turret. He tracked it with that shot. You can see the hole that he made in the turret there. Another hit right on the front. 144 from that one. He's firing in and he kills it. That was a kill. So he's taken out one tank already. Who's next? Now, Wargaming really ought to bring in more premium Artys into the game. They can effectively rule how many premium tanks are actually allowed in the game at any one time, but it certainly would be a good idea to get more premiums. Oh my god! The Burza just blew up! You're only supposed to blow the doors off, not blow the turret off. Well, he just sent that tank to heaven. The ARL-44 went down explosively, and now we're firing at the Chappie. And that's a direct hit for 143. He fires another one in at long range, and he kills that one as well. That's 2 kills now. He's really on form today, targy. Okay, we've got a stationary target, an A43, waiting to ambush. And he takes a penetrating round on the engine deck for 403 hit points. Another one's fired in, and that's a hit as well for 116. Now he's a one-shot for the tanks that come through the gates. And now he's gone as well. Targy is on fire. Well, the enemy is. Targy's not on fire. He's just killing them. He's not killing them softly either. He's killing them harshly with a HE shell. Switch targets now. He's going for the Panzer KW1 or KV1. Or KV1, I should say, actually. Now, that's the upgraded KV that was captured by the Germans and converted into a heavy tank for them with a 75mm main gun, or 7.5 centimeter, I should say. And that's another tank that's gone, but this time it was a Churchill 7 that got the kill. We're looking at a KV1 of the enemy team, but he's firing at very long range, which means he has to adjust to get the shell in the right direction. It's 3.2 seconds for the shell to reach the target, so it takes forever to get there, and by the time the shell does get there, normally the enemy's moved. He is getting it close, but he's not getting kill shots. Maybe he might this time. Oh, well, that one hit for 111. And the KV1 is now technically a one-shot if he backs up into the shell. Just missed him, but he did go down to an enemy tank. There's only 2 enemy tanks left now. Went down to one of our tanks, rather, not the enemy tank. He went down to the Churchill 7. Crazy Fatality is the name of that player. The T1 Heavy is way out of range. We're at the back of the map. And in fact, actually, Targy's actually moving forward to try and get closer to the enemy. He's doing so while in aim view because there's nothing blocking him at this end of the map. Okay, he's lining up a shot on the T1 Heavy as he backs into that little area. Can he get a shot on target? I think he might. Has to give a bigger lead now because that guy is on the move and he's got a downslope. He goes, and now he's still out of range for the M41 HMC, but that guy is stationary. And he's taking fire. One more shot and he goes down. And he does go down to the Type T34, and the game is over. Well, that battle was rather furious and very fast as well. Targy got a second-class tanker out of it, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10. He also got a win 8 of 5,369, which is Super Unicum standard. But the game was over so quickly, mainly because he got a lot of kills early on in the game, and he was getting some pretty good ones at that. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, you can see he got the highest damage in the game, but he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool, and that's why he missed out on getting the high caliber. 2,007 hit points of damage, with the next highest scorer being the Churchill 7, and he managed 1,736. And in third place, we got the box tank, the SU-100Y, who managed 1,593 hit points of damage. The Churchill 7, by the way, he got the steel wall in that game. When it came to kills, we can see that the highest number was Targy again. 3 kills went to him. He was the only player who got 3 kills. 2 kills went to the Churchill 7, the box tank, and the Type T34. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one too. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 869 went to Targy, 862 went to the Churchill 7, and 782 went to the Type T34. Targy fired only 25 rounds. That's half his ammo. So, yeah, he saved a lot of shells. Not so many blind shots. Virtually everything he was aiming at, he either got it very close or next door to the enemy. 10 direct hits and 5 penetrating shots. 10 splash. Damage of 2,007, all of it at more than 300 meters. We can see he got 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, and he got 124 hit points of damage assistance in the game. On a premium count, he actually made 44,161 credits, and he also got 30 bonds for mission achievement and 5,737 experience points, including 2,608 for mission completion. So a very quick game, 4 minutes, 49 seconds. There was 1 loss by his own team, just 1. And that happened to be the VK3001H, which is a pity because if he'd actually succeeded, that would have been a 15-0 victory. And then, of course, it could have made it to our 15-0 table for the fastest battle. Obviously, I don't think it would have succeeded in getting onto the table because it was 4 minutes 49. And the fastest battle we've recorded so far, if I remember correctly, is 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So it was a little way out, but he would have made it onto the table, I think. So, great battle by Targy to start off this video. Let's have a look at the second replay. Here's the second replay, and this time round, we've got our 105mm light field howitzer on the south spawn of Prokhorovka under the command of Killergege of FF4F. Game on! Looks like he's going to go into the bush line on the railway line at the south end of the map. There are lots of places you can go to fight from. The problem with the railway line is that it's so close to the hill. If the enemy actually does conquer the hill, you've got a long drive to get to the other side of the map, the west side, where it will be a little safer. Okay, he's looking towards the center, trying to work out where the enemy's going to appear. There's a number of fences a little further back, and you can actually see when the enemy are approaching that position. And he's looking up here because, again, the fence is up here, and if he actually sees the fences knocked down, then he knows that the enemy is there. And he fired a round in, and yes, there was somebody there because the shell disappeared without an explosion. Now, he's landed in a tier 7 game with tier 5 tanks in it, so might get an ace tanker out of this, might not, because the higher the target you're actually firing against, the more XP you'll earn. So there's somebody definitely in that bush. The fences were knocked down just behind it. He's giving it another go, but looks away immediately, so we don't know if he hit, but we do know the enemy Arty is having a go at him as well. And they've got an SU-8 and a 105 leFH18B2. And you can see that they pinned him down to that bush ahead, but he's not there anymore. And they're still firing in this general direction, but they're missing him. Now he's aiming over on that corner because he expects that the enemy is actually, they're now aiming for behind him because they think he's pulled back. And he fired that one shot to deceive the enemy. This tree was knocked down, so he assumed that there must be somebody there. But the fences haven't been knocked down, so obviously he knows that not to be true. There could be an enemy Arty in this general direction. He's looking for a tree that might be knocked down. But no, can't see any tracer. What he can see now is a T1 Heavy. Lining up the shot. There, rounds out. Yeah, lovely hit. He got 100 hit points for that one. Going for the VK. Fires one in. And he gets a hit on that one as well for 135. Now, if he hears the rumble, he knows that the enemy Arty's firing at him, and he gets the kill on the VK3001H, so he's got his first kill of the game. Goes for the T1 Heavy again, and he hits him again and almost wipes him out for 147. He's probably still there, so give it another shot. And he gets the kill. So that's 2 kills now. Would be a wise decision to change position now. Got a Cromwell up at the center. He's dialing in, but it does take a little while to dial in. Almost as long as it takes to aim. It's well worth dialing in. If you fire snatch, the chances are you're not going to hit the target. So it's worth actually focusing, getting dialed in first. That Cromwell's keeping on the move because he doesn't want to be pinned down. So we're looking in this corner again, and we can just see that the tracer's coming out from just behind that tree. He's waiting for the next shot. Fires around, but he looks away. And of course, that's a bad thing to do. If you look away, you can't see if you were right, if it hit the target. He could have actually damaged that tank and not realized that he has actually hit it. He fires another one in. Nope, not there. The enemy Arty was particularly accurate when it came to counter battery in the last set of shots that were coming in his direction. I think they did judge it correctly, but he moved out of the way quickly enough to avoid the shell hitting. Whoever's in that area actually is also avoiding the shells. What he's got to watch out for is that they don't decide to fire in his direction. Killergege has actually had quite a few ace tankers. You can see that, the mastery on the back of the vehicle, and he's got the yellow one, which obviously is a little higher than normal. And he takes out the Cromwell with what might be a penetrating shot to the rear of the vehicle. Now, we think that there might be a tank in that position. In fact, the T-34 pulled out. He fires. And he does get another kill, so that's 3 now. So it looks like it was a good decision for him not to go to the west side of the map. Cromwell goes down, but he doesn't get the kill on that one. That was quite a good shot with the other Cromwell, the way he actually hit the engine deck as the guy was moving, and it took him out. Another enemy in sight, but the nearest tank we've got is that IS-2 shielded at the moment. He's taking a lot of pressure from the enemy Arty. There's a KV-2, and that IS-2 shielded was just fired upon. We've just fired on the KV. Got a hit for 45. An M2Y who's actually very low hit points, so he's letting it dial in. He fires, and he kills him. That's his 4th kill of the game. Yes, he waited just the right length of time. The guy went unspotted just as he went across the field, and then obviously the shell hit him and the wreck appeared. Very satisfying when that happens. Our IS-2 shielded is taking a pummeling. He's losing hit points. Meanwhile, over on the hill, We've got a Stugdei Ausrung, the better one, the tier 5 one, and he's sitting there on the hill blasting away. Now he's not blasting away because he's in the garage. Another kill. That's 5 now. Killergege only needs 1 more to get a top gun. He's also racked up a lot of damage so far, including damage assist. Now, we've only got 4 left on our team, but there's 5 left on the enemy team. So it can still go either way, although they do have more hit points than we do. They've still got both their Arty. The M10 RBFM is rushing to get across the battlefield to the hedge line. If he can go up on the hill, that might help a bit, because at least he'll see the enemy coming a lot clearer, and he should be able to take them out from up there. But if the enemy gets up on top of the hill, we've got serious problems. No, he's decided not to go up the hill. I think that's a mistake. You can notice our AT2 and our KV1SA at this moment are both full health. And the enemy is actually firing on the hill. So the enemy Arty still think we've got a tank up there. They fired on precisely the same position that we did have a tank only a short while back. I think it was, wasn't the Churchill 1, but it was one of our tanks up that hill. May have been the Super Chaffee. Yep, they're still firing at the hill. So we're having a look from the overhead view. Now, one of the ways you can actually do counter battery is to actually look in the taking out all of the view, all of the marking, the information. And you do that by just pressing the V key, and then you can see very clearly where the tracer comes from. Okay, we'll put it back in. And now we can see a KV2 has appeared near the center line. So we're dialing in as quickly as we can. Rounds out. Just to the right, left of him. One shot might be enough to kill this KV2. But we've just lost our KV1SA. Only 19 hit points from that one. It must have hit the armor. Fires another one in. And that one does kill him. So that's a top gun now for Killergege. Now there's only 3 left on our team, 4 on the enemy team. He's backing up into this corner, but I'm not sure that that's a great move just yet. Making a last-ditch defense almost. Ideally, he wants to see any enemy who are trying to creep across the bottom of the map towards our cap area. The AT2 and the M10 RBFM should be able to tell us if they are doing that. In fact, now the M10 RBFM has gone onto the other side of the railway line. Whilst that does help him to see the enemy coming over the hill, in fact, there is an enemy tank coming over the hill just as I predicted. And now he's got the advantage because he's looking down on that M10 and he's got a pretty substantial gun. In fact, it's the enemy Arty that kills our M10 RBFM. And now we're the only ones firing in this general direction. We're getting good hits on that VK, but we won't be able to for much longer because the enemy Arty is firing in our direction as well. And now he knows generally where we are. Okay, so now we cannot see the VK3601H. But the moment he spots us, and he is close now, here he comes, then the enemy Arty will be on top of us. Well, he fires one round in. We take one big hit from the VK's gun, and another one. Got another one in. But it doesn't take the VK long to kill us. Okay, so now the VK is taking care of the AT2. And in fact, it's one of the Fifis who gets the kill. And that's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats. That was an ace tanker game for Killergege in the 105 leFH18B2. He also managed to get a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 21. He got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall, and he did get a top gun for getting 6 kills and a win rate of 7,183. But sadly, he was wiped out and his team lost. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see the highest damage in the game was 2,290 hit points, and he was the only player who managed to make it over 2,000 hit points in the game. Second highest turned out to be the Shure MV7X on the enemy team. He managed 1,561, and the third highest was the M10 RBFM, who managed 1,216. When it came to kills, he got the highest number of those as well. 6 kills went to Killergege, 3 kills went to the SU8 and the 105 leFH18B2 on the enemy team, and 2 kills went to their Shure MV7X and our M10 RBFM. And when it came to base XP, even though we're on the losing team, we still got the 4th place on base XP. 845 went to one of the Cromwells, 834 went to their BP, and 819 went to their Cromwell B. And we can see that, yeah, there's Killergege with 801. So he got top on 2 of them and picked up 4th place on the base XP in the game, even on the losing side. He fired 32 rounds, got 17 direct hits, 1 penetrating shot, and 22 splash. Damage of 2,290, of which 2,077 were at more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the enemy, both were penetrations, both came from the VK3601H, and there was nothing he could do to stop those shells going in. He also received 1 hit by way of splash damage from the enemy Arty. 10 enemy vehicles were damaged, 6 were killed, and he got 364 hit points of damage assist. On a free-to-play account, he actually made 87,135 credits profit from the game, and that includes getting a 55,000 mission completion bonus and 4,050 for courageous resistance. He also picked up 1,580 experience points and got 447 for courageous resistance out of that game as well. So yes, he says not enough, it seems. Well, when you're facing 4 enemies at the end of the game, it can be very difficult. And I really do believe that if that M10 RBFM had gone up on top of the hill, he would have been able to shoot down on the enemy tanks that were coming towards him. And once he spotted that VK3601H, he would have been able to take a hull down position and put plenty of rounds into that guy to stop him getting close. And that would have allowed Killergege to actually get some very accurate and very deadly shots into that VK. So I think actually the M10 let everyone down, because in the end, of course, the M10 did get taken out, and it was needlessly. He was just the other side of the railway line. He could have been up on top of the hill. But other than that, Killergege got some great shots in there, some really good shots, especially that Cromwell B. I think it was the Cromwell B. He was moving very fast when he got the kill. Either that or it was the other Cromwell. And I'm looking to see which one it was, but well, there was one that was picked up while it was moving very, very quickly, and it was a good shot at that. Hope you enjoyed this game, and of course the one by Targy. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.